Assalamu alaikum. There's so much I want to say about Surah 12 of the Quran, titled Yusuf or Joseph. It's a very rich chapter. I am only scratching the surface. I've tried to make this video maybe 10 times. Each time I keep yapping on. So I pray that this version will be concise. Every surah does begin with, in the name of Allah, most gracious, ever merciful. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So after that, it talks about how the Quran was sent down in Arabic so that people will understand it. And this part is interesting because it was confusing to me, especially towards the end. So I consulted 3 different English translations of it. The number of the chapter 12, I feel, is representative of the 12 sons of Yaqub, or Jacob, peace and blessings be upon him. And his 2 youngest sons, who are Benjamin and Yusuf, Joseph, who peace and blessings be upon him, those 2 had a very special place in Jacob's heart, and this caused a lot of jealousy amongst his other brothers. And I think part of the favoritism had to do with these were the only 2 sons of his wife Rachel. So Jacob had 2 wives, and he had children with his 2 wives, Leah and Rachel, or Rahel, and also 2 handmaidens. Number 13 is cool because Jacob had a total of 13 children altogether. 1 was a daughter, and I called her Dinah in a previous video and made me think of the cat in Alice in Wonderland, a symbol to me that means cat. But I believe her name was probably pronounced Dina because the root of her name from the word Deen, which is what encapsulates religion, faith, and a way of life. So what I was reading about her name, it mentions some hadiths from the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, where he speaks of the importance of giving a meaningful and virtuous name to your children, and that the name itself can be a source of blessing. What is interesting is that her name is absent in this surah. So it makes me think maybe there's something there. And so because what comes to my mind is the cat in Alice in Wonderland. She represents cats to me in this moment. But the symbol of the wolf is explicitly said, so it's like dogs and cats. And there's twice a wolf is mentioned. One is when Jacob is concerned that Joseph's jealous brothers are going to leave him behind in some situation and he'll be eaten by a wolf. And then later, the brothers throw Joseph into a well, but when they come back home and they tell Dad that a wolf ate him, and that was a lie. But they show Jacob a shirt, which leads me to a different symbol, shirts. So they show Jacob this shirt that they put fake blood on to say that Joseph was eaten by a wolf. There's another part in the surah that also refers to a shirt, and all of these are Joseph's shirts. So there's 3 shirts, and in the second shirt that is featured is when Joseph is living with the Egyptian family who adopted him. As he grows older, he grows more handsome, and the wife actually tries to seduce him, and he, despite wanting to engage, he refrains from it, and she tries to corner him, she runs after him, and she ends up ripping his shirt, and then she ends up claiming that he tried to seduce her. But the assessors say, well, it depends on where his shirt was torn. If his shirt is torn in the back, it means that the wife is who is guilty of trying to seduce him. And if the shirt is torn in the front, that means that Joseph is guilty of trying to seduce her. And it ends up that Joseph's shirt is torn in the back. And then the 3rd time a shirt is mentioned is towards the end, when Joseph finally reveals himself to his brothers, who end up seeing him as an adult, but at first they don't know who he is. When they finally realize who he is, he gives his shirt to them and he says, "Give this to father, Jacob." Jacob has the shirt on his face, and because of the grief of missing his son Joseph all these years, he had gone blind. But the scent of the shirt had the essence of Joseph, and he immediately had his vision return. Then it leads me to another symbol, which are water containers, the bucket from the well. So it just stood out to me that, so there were travelers who came across the well, and sent down a bucket. And when they sent down the bucket, they discovered Joseph in the well. And they eventually saved Joseph. For ulterior motives, they were going to sell him, and that's how he got bought by that Egyptian family. And it's also mentioned how those travelers valued him so little, they only sold him for a very paltry price,